Good day! I am Alvord Patten, Valencia, BSN FRI Sciences of Negros Oriental State University. And for today's laboratory activity, we are going to extract the DNA out of this banana. For this laboratory activity, two rubrics will be used, the analytic and holistic rubric. For the analytic rubric, it has 4 criteria. Materials, which has 15%, personal protective equipment 15%, procedure 45%, and safety and thoroughness 25%, a total of 100%. Each criteria has 4 corresponding components, which has different points. These components are outstanding, which has 4 points, satisfactory, which has 3 points, developing, which has 2 points, and needs improvement, which has 1 point. For the outstanding component, a performance is worthy of 4 points if for the materials that are necessary for the laboratory activity are all present. The student is not wasteful of the materials. For a satisfactory performance in the materials criterion, one material necessary for the laboratory activity is missing. The student is not wasteful of the materials. For the developing performance, which has 2 points, 2 or more materials necessary for the activity are missing. The student has wasted some of the materials. And for the needs improvement, which has 1 point, the student has all materials necessary for the activity missing. The student is not prepared for the prescribed materials, meaning the student has not brought or has not prepared any of the materials for the experiment. For the personal protective equipment criterion, an outstanding performance should be that equipment such as mask, eye shield, laboratory gown, gloves are properly worn. For the satisfactory, 1 piece of personal protective equipment is missing. For the developing, 2 personal protective equipment are missing. And for the needs improvement, the student is not wearing any personal protective equipment. For the procedure criterion, an outstanding performance is that all procedures were mastered and undertaken in order. For the satisfactory, there is 1 step in the activity that was missed, but mastery is still observable. For the developing, there are 2 or more steps in the activity that were missed. However, mastery is seldomly observed. For the needs improvement, there is no mastery in the procedure. Uncertainty with the procedures is evident, and the student does not know what to do. For the safety and thoroughness criterion, an outstanding performance should be that safety precautions are well observed. The activity was performed seriously, and all materials were handled with care. For the satisfactory performance, student sometimes loses focus and seriousness. Some materials were wasted, and the student attempts to taste and smell the materials. For the developing performance, student often loses focus and seriousness, and some materials were wasted. The student tasted and smelled the materials. For the needs improvement performance, the student has no focus and seriousness. Rowdiness is evident, and student intentionally wastes materials. On the other hand, the holistic rubric has 4 indicators of performance, namely outstanding, which has 4 points, satisfactory, which has 3 points, developing, which has 2 points, and needs improvement, which has 1 point. For the outstanding performance, the student provides all the necessary materials for the experiment and wears complete personal protective equipment. The student demonstrated mastery of the procedures and observed safety precautions while doing the activity. The student also shows seriousness towards the activity and utilized the materials thoroughly. For the satisfactory performance, the student has 1 material missing for the activity and has 1 missing personal protective equipment. The students show mastery of the procedure but sometimes forget to follow safety precautions. The student shows seriousness towards the activity but has some materials wasted. For the developing performance, the student has 2 materials missing for the activity. The student only asks for the missing materials from other students. The student only wears one piece of personal protective equipment. The student frequently forgets the procedure, however, can keep track when instructed. The student shows little seriousness towards the activity and has wasted some materials. Lastly, for the needs improvement performance, which is 1 point, the student has not prepared any of the materials needed for the activity. The student only asks for the materials from others. The student has not prepared any personal protective equipment, and the student does not know the procedures of the activity. So for this activity, we will need the following materials: a piece of banana, dishwashing liquid, salt, water, an empty glass, strainer, a piece of plastic, and a chilled alcohol which is currently in the freezer. So before we start this activity, we must not forget to wear our personal protective equipment. For this case, we will need our eye shields and face mask. Then, we're ready to start. First, we have to put some salt in an empty container and some water. And let's mix it well. Next is to put the dishwashing liquid. And stir gently. And we will set it aside. Next is we have to peel the banana. Let's take a small piece and put it inside the plastic. And we will put dish salt and dishwashing liquid water solution. Next is we have to let the air out and seal the plastic. And let's mash manually the banana. Now, we will strain it. So after straining the mixture, let the solution sit for a while. At this time, we will get our alcohol that has been chilled. Now that we have our chilled alcohol, we will gently pour it into the solution. And let's wait for about 5 minutes. After a couple of minutes, let's see if the DNA is extracted from the material. Using a fork, let's get this white substance here. And here it is, the DNA from the banana.